Hello, everybody. This morning I'm headed an hour and a half west to a small estate auction I found on auctionzip.com that lists in their description, quote, Gravely Garden Tractors and Attachments. Auctionzip.com is a great website, and auctioneers can pretty much put as long a list of items and as many photos as they want to advertise their sales. A lot of our local auctioneers will put literally hundreds of photos online per sale. But for some reason, the auction company for this sale only had about 24 photos on their listing, none of which showed anything gravely related, which means I have no idea exactly what they have. So basically, I'm pulling my utility trailer on a 3-hour round trip in the hopes there's something worthwhile. Maybe some early D or L stuff, or what I'm really looking for, a snowblower for my 812. Today may be a total bust, but if you're watching this footage, I must have found something I decided to bring home. Once I get there, we'll see what they have, so stay tuned. Well, I got checked in, got myself a bidder number, walked around, couldn't spot any Gravely stuff until I happened to notice this concrete area behind the barns, and looks like that's where they've got everything set up. So, I don't know, let's see what they got here. I don't know, this looks like a regular old sickle mower. Nothing I'm interested in. Got an electric start L with some semi-pneumatic wheels and a really weirdly set up cultivator. I don't know. Let's see what year this thing is. Actually, it's an LI, and it looks like it's a 59. Oh, it looks mostly complete. Not really something I'm interested in, but, make a good project for someone. These look like they could be wheels and tires off of a set of gear reduction wheels. I don't know, they're the right size, but they might have come off something else. So we got some sulkies over here, just ride-on sulkies. Looks like a C-spring sulky. I'm actually in the market for one of those for my 43. It's the first style sulky Gravely made. But, I don't know, looks like the tongue's been messed with on this thing. And, yeah, one of the foot pegs broke off at some point. Somebody did a good job of brazing one on to make it useful, but I don't know. If I want to buy a C-spring sulky for my 43, I'm going to buy a complete one. So I'm just not in the market for this thing. Looks like we got another Model L over here with a pretty weird cultivator on it. We're missing the hood. Let's see what year this thing is. Well, it's another 59. It's actually only 14 off the serial number of the last one. That's kind of neat, but it's missing some parts. It's kind of rough. Again, I'm not really looking for one of these anyway. Let's see what else we got. Looks like we got another sickle bar. Also got looks like a mulching cover for a 30-inch rotary mower. I might want to pick that up if I get a chance. And just a gauge wheel off a cultivator. I guess if it's freed up, it's good. I've got another electric start L, missing a hood. Don't know what year it is. I can check the transmission because that's where the number's at on this. It's probably a 60s era. But again, nothing I'm really looking for. Got some hoods over here. The slant hoods I'm interested in. These look nice and straight. That one's off a postal tractor. Kind of break my heart to have to paint that off, but that is a really nice straight hood. Sometimes those are hard to find, so definitely interested in that. Looks like we got a 30-inch rotary mower. I wonder if it's all locked up, what kind of shape it's in. Oh, gearbox is good. That's always a plus. Let's see what the blade looks like. Blade looks okay. Doesn't look like it's been ground down too hard. Well, if this thing goes cheap, I might be interested in it. Looks like we got a set of gear reduction wheels here. And of course the question always is, are the pinion gears in here? There's a lot of water in there. No pinion gear on that one. Let's check the next one. Maybe I threw both of them in there. Nope, no pinion gears, so I don't know. Seems like everybody's got a set of these, but nobody's got pinion gears for it. So got a set at home I don't have on a tractor now, so not interested. Looks like a snowplow with some kind of weirdly fabricated lip on it. I don't know, a little strange. Don't need a plow though, so gonna pass on that. This looks like a rear mount tool holder, but I don't know enough about these to know if that's how they came or that's just something somebody cobbled together. I don't know. I'm gonna have to do some research here before the auction starts. See what that is. Yeah, I thought there was one there.
What year you reckon that is? 40s?
Not a clue. I don't know anything about Bohlins. Well, here's a surprise I didn't expect to see. Old Model L with steel wheels, but look at this. This is an original Gravely tractor cover. I've never seen one in person. Looks like it's got some holes and some tears, but I'm not sure I can not buy that today. Looks like we got a rotary plow with a busted front end on it. It's a shame. I really need a set of wheels. I don't need another gearbox. But check this tractor out. This looks like an original war era machine that still has the steel wheels on it, which is pretty dang unusual. Man, I mean, it really does look original, but looks pretty rough. Let's check the serial number. That's a 43. Looks like still got the Edison mag. Boy, the jug is in bad shape. Head bolts are rusted. I can't imagine that head's going to come off without breaking every bolt on it. Okay, the engine's not locked up. No compression on it. There's no surprise there. I don't know. This is, boy, I'd hate to see this end up in a scrap pile. I may have to buy this if for no other reason, just for those wheels, because it took me 2 years to find a set for my 43 project. That was 2 weeks ago, and here's another set. Definitely got to keep this thing in mind. I also found this nice square chute dog eater that's got caster wheels on it, and another pretty beat up, cobbled together rotary plow tucked in a barn. Not interested in those today. After searching every barn on the property, I finally found the pinion gears for the gear reduction wheels. I am definitely going to try to buy those before I leave today. So I've got my little list of things that I'm interested in, and I just got to wait till they get down here and start selling stuff and see what I end up taking home. Stay tuned. Okay, it's the next morning. We're home. Everything's unpacked. This is still in the trailer because it's going up to our Wisconsin property next weekend. But first thing I picked up, I did get the 30-inch rotary mower. You can tell it's a 185 gearbox, but you probably saw in the video these holes in the top of the shell. Looks like it originally had a 106 gearbox on it, which is fine. That's no problem with that. But again, turns nice and smooth. The rear guard is there. The front guard is there. One thing I really liked about this deck was that mower blade. Doesn't look like it's been sharpened much. Some of them are just like triangles on the end. They've been ground into so much. This is a really good blade. The bad thing is I'm fairly certain the lower seal is bad. So if I'm going to use this at some point, I will have to put new seal in it. No big deal. That happens. And I did get the mulching guard. Now, something to point out. Most of the Gravely stuff, because it was the very end of the day and stuff was not selling well, so the auctioneers were just grouping things together. Like they'd group 5 things together, and honestly, what I didn't buy, the scrappers did. So this deck, I actually bought it from a scrapper. I didn't want everything that the auctioneer was selling, so I bought that from a scrapper. I bought that from a scrapper. And There were some other things that I bought specifically from scrappers. This depth wheel, I bought that from a scrapper just because, you know, this turns free and that was worth it to me for a couple of bucks. One of the scrappers was nice enough to let me pull a magneto, a muffler, a starter, and a cast iron carburetor off a tractor. And I went home and I checked the starter and it does work. So that was pretty cool. And again, I just love the stuff you find on some of these tractors, the creativity of how people had to keep them running years ago. I've never seen a P-trap from a sink used as an air intake hose, but that's what somebody did. Yeah, also that well, technically I bought the sulky, I pulled that off of there, and I traded the sulky to a scrapper for that mower deck, so I guess I bought that. I did specifically buy a set of tires and split rims. Why, I don't know. I've got so many split rims already. The first Gravely thing they sold was actually this this rear mount cultivator. And you saw in the preview video, I wasn't too sure if this was original or something somebody had cobbled together, so I put pictures of it out on one of the Gravely groups on Facebook. And then I went to the Gravely Tractor Club website, searched the online manuals, and found in 1955 Model L manual, you actually see this cultivator as it is. So this was actually something they made. It did come like that, and apparently they only made these for, I don't know, a brief period of time. These things tended to break off, so I guess this is kind of a hard one to find. I don't know. I always wanted one. And you can see there's some original black paint on it, and some red here. So at some point, when I take this whole thing apart, sandblast it, clean it, I'll repaint it the way it is now. I did, of course, get the pinion gears, the gear reduction wheels. I already have a set of wheels and gears that I'm not presently using, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these, but I did get the pinion gears. I opted not to get the rest of the gear reduction wheels. I just don't have room for everything. I hated to see them go, but you just can't save everything. One thing I absolutely wanted to come home with was this original tractor cover from Gravely. You can see it's in rough shape. It's got holes in it, it's got tears in it, but again, I've never seen one in person. So definitely didn't want this to end up in the garbage can. And as I suspected, my wife took one look at it. She's really good at sewing things. And she said, oh, that's easy to make. So she actually picked up some canvas and some, I think this is called binding, I'm not sure. But yeah, she's gonna measure it out and actually make a couple of tractor covers for me to use. So let's pull the cover off and let's take a look at the tractor that's underneath. As you probably figured out by now, I did come home with the 43. Something you probably noticed on the preview video, a lot of these machines had bidder numbers on them. And boy, somebody went to town writing the bidder number on this thing. Apparently wanted the guy to know that he bought every part of this tractor. That's not my bidder number, by the way. And then over here, you got a completely different bidder number. So this tractor has been passed around at least 3 auctions now that we know of. I'd be willing to bet this hasn't ran since long before I was born. I will keep the gearbox if it's free. I don't know. It hasn't been off there in a long time. I'll have to check that out. But the thing that really surprised me about it is that it still had the steel wheels on it. You know, it took me 2 years to find a set of steel wheels for my 43 project, and then 2 weeks later, here's another set. And the thing is, Gravely made these because during the war, there was a rationing on rubber, so they couldn't really put rubber tires on these tractors. And my understanding is that after the rationing was over, pretty much as soon as people could get rubber tires, they got rid of these steel wheels. So this thing's really kind of a true survivor of sorts. But it is in very rough shape. There is nothing savable about that hood. Shipper shaft's locked up. That's probably just rust down there, no big deal. I was a little put off by the fact that this has been sitting there for a long time with no oil cap, but thankfully there's no mouse nest in there. I just see a little bit of surface rust, so I think the hood kept water out, and I'm guessing that the transmission housing didn't fill with water and crack, but wow, you can tell there's an incredible amount of oil and grime buildup. We had to chip away to get to the petcock there. Still got the Edison mag, which is kind of cool. I'm hoping there's some good parts in there. The jug is shot. Yeah, there's no two ways about it. It's probably gonna break every head bolt trying to get it apart. And even if you could, is it really worth it? Because look at the exhaust flange on here. The bolts are broke off. It's all corroded and rusted out. There's nothing salvageable about that jug. Cast iron crankcase seems to be good though, and as you saw in the preview video, the engine does turn over, just no compression in it. These are locked up, but they're probably just rusted here. That's no big deal. I tried to get the gas cap off to see what the inside of the gas tank looked like, but as it turned out, there's really no need to look from the top. You can tell from the bottom, there's nothing in that gas tank but air. I said, got the original cast iron air intake elbow. This linkage is all just rotted out pretty bad, but it is probably the original Zenith carburetor with Zenith vertical on it. It's just hard to tell as pitted as it is. I have no idea if that carburetor is even savable, but sometimes they do surprise you. I had thought originally, my original plan when I bought this, honestly, and I know people are going to cringe, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I was going to strip it out, take the wheels, take the cast iron elbows, the carb, the mag, the crankcase, the good parts off it, get rid of the rest because of how bad this thing is. But I don't think I got the heart to do it. I mean, it's an original war era machine that's survived for 82 years now. And if I strip it out, I can't undo that. So I think I'm going to hold on to it for a while. Maybe hold on to it permanently. I'm not sure. One thing that I noticed when I got home was pretty cool. If you look at the serial number on it, it's 8964. And the serial number on my 43 that you may have seen the videos on is 8961. So these two machines are three apart on the serial numbers. My guess is they were probably sold at the same dealership back in the day. And I know it sounds a little corny, but I think it's kind of cool that, they're back under the same roof again after 82 years. But anyway, that was the auction haul. Came home with some pretty good stuff. I think it was worth my time, and I didn't have to spend much money to do it. So thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe. I will see you on another episode.